Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call, please.
Mayor Kapadas?
Here.
Mrs. Passio? Here. Mr. Ranieri?
Here.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Here.
Mr. Root?
He's absent. Excused. He's sick.
Excused. Mrs. Kelly? Here. Mr. Farrell?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Basor?
Here.
And Mr. Diori?
Here.
Okay. Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. 1, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 3rd, 2019. And 2, emailed to the retrospect and courier post on January 3rd, 2019. First order of business we have is the approval of minutes. Motion is in order for the approval of minutes of the December 27th, 2018 and January 2nd, 2019 meetings submitted by the clerk, as each member has received copies of the same. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Neri, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor? Okay, the minutes are approved. The State Senator is running a little late, we believe, so we're going to just, I apologize to those who are here for her. We're going to just skip over and do a couple of things first. So what we have now, if everyone has an agenda, we have our proclamations. The first one we have is tonight we're honoring Eagle Scout Stephen Michael McPherson. So would you guys like to come up? First thing I'd like to say is one thing about the McPherson family is that they have always been great citizens to the Borough of Runnemede. You guys have always been here as members of the VFW. What you guys have done for this town has been great. So I know it feels like we're always honoring you, but you guys are doing stuff all the time. So I want to make sure that's clear. So what I have is from the Office of the Mayor, a proclamation, Mayor and Council, Borough of Runnemede, presented to Stephen Michael McPherson, Boy Scout Troop 117, in recognition of attaining the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout. We take this opportunity to honor and to recognize the outstanding service that you have unselfishly given. February 5th, 2019. Thank you. And it was honored by the three members for those of you who are. I do appreciate you coming out again and everything you do. Thank you again. Oh, we got somebody want to say congratulate you also. Council likes to congratulate. I'm going to make you guys stay down.
You are? Oh, really?
Congratulations. So I just read it.
Continued success.
Stay up here, because we're going to do another proclamation.
Congratulations. Being with town is wonderful. You have wonderful things ahead for you.
Okay, so I'm going to ask, thank you guys again. Do you want to take one big picture, or?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you do great pictures. I do see all the pictures.
You gonna send them our way? Thank you.
Yeah.
Mark Bayshore.
Look at the American flag in there. All right, great. All right, if you guys stay over here, I'd like to have the police department come up too. And let everybody come up. And also Susan Stas and Tiffany Rossetti. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Yes.
You've been Haas.
Oh, Chris Haas.
And Chris Haas, you know
Sure,
him?
Chris
Is
Haas.
Tiffany here?
Thank you so much.
Okay. All we have, you want me to read it first? Okay, how about if I read this first? Okay, we also have a proclamation from the Office of the Mayor. Proclamation commending Susan Stas and Tiffany Rossetti for their actions on January 18, 2019. Whereas the Runnemede Police Department answered a call involving the overdose of 2 parents in a van, which contained 2 toddlers. And whereas while EMTs worked to save the parents, 2 residents came forward to assist the police in comforting the 2 toddlers. And whereas in addition to providing blankets and diapers, Tiffany Rossetti and Susan Stas went to the police station, stayed with the children, changed their clothes and diapers, fed them snacks, and kept them calm while awaiting DCPP. DCPD?
Yeah, that used to be Dyfel.
Okay.
I don't know what it stands for now.
Sorry about that. Whereas the Runnemede Police and Fire Departments were very grateful for their assistance while trying to save the parents, and whereas these residents made a horrible situation a little more bearable for all involved. And therefore, by virtue of the powers vested in the office, I, Nick Kapadas, Mayor of the Borough of Runnemede, do hereby recognize the outstanding service provided by Tiffany Rossetti and Susan Stobbs to the Borough of Runnemede, and do further express the gratitude of the citizens of our community for going above and beyond to aid and comfort two innocent children. This is for you and for Susan. I really appreciate you guys coming out. I know it's just a little small token, but we do appreciate these kinds of things. I mean, if every resident did this, this would make our town even better than it is now. I want to thank the police department for what you guys did, and it's great you guys did. So
Thank you again so much.
Thank you for helping.
I haven't changed a diaper in like 18 years. I don't know if
We good?
We're good. We just found out that the state senator is on her way, so we'll continue our meeting. And once again, all of you, you're not obligated to stay, though we would like you to stay, but you're not obligated to stay. All right. Two more.
Two other
I know you like to read the one. I don't know if you want to read the one.
I'll read the one.
Okay.
You can read the radar. You can talk about.
All right. So we have two more proclamations. I'm going to do the radon. So what we have is Radon Action Month for February 2019. For those of you who don't know, the Borough of Runnemede received a grant this year, so we were able to purchase 152 radon kits that we're giving out free to all the residents of Runnemede who come in. All they have to do is fill out a piece of paper. First come, first serve, and then we're hoping those people who do get the kits will use them and send them in, because obviously we're looking for that information back to know where in our community we do have higher radon levels. So let me read the proclamation. Whereas radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that is the second leading cause of lung cancer. And whereas prolonged exposure to radon can kill as many as 500 people in New Jersey each year. And whereas families who reside in homes with elevated radon levels are at risk of developing serious health problems. And whereas any home could have high levels, even when neighboring homes do not. Whereas radon testing can be done with great ease at a relatively low expense to the homeowner, with the cost of reducing radon concentrations being compatible to a home repair. Whereas the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and the United States Environmental Protection Agency are collaborating during the month of January to promote the need for radon testing in an effort to protect the lives of our state's residents. And whereas if all New Jersey homes with radon concentrations at or above 4 parts per liter were mitigated, about 78 lives could be saved this year. Now, therefore, I, Nick Kapadas, Mayor, on behalf of the governing body, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2019 as Radon Action Month. So hopefully, once again, this is the public service announcement that we do have kits. Those of you who feel you have high levels, you may have high levels. There is a map that you can look at for the borough, and it shows actually where I live off of Davis Road. Those streets back there are higher levels. So there is a map that kind of gives you an idea. But as you can see, anyone in the town can get those kits and use them. So at this point, the clerk likes the second proclamation.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, sir.
It really helps too if you get it done, if you ever go to sell your house.
Yes.
One of these tests must be done anyway. Get it done now, and then if you ever do go to sell, it'll already be done, the situation will be rectified, and you won't have that, deal with that as far as the home inspection.
It's a great point, great point. So at this time, I'm going to allow the clerk to read the next proclamation.
Whereas citizens of the Borough of Runnemede stand firmly committed to promoting reading as the catalyst for our students' future academic success, their preparation for America's jobs of the future, and their ability to compete in the global economy. And whereas the Borough of Runnemede has provided significant leadership in the area of community involvement in the education of our youth, grounded in the principle that educational investment is key to the community's well-being and long-term quality of life. And whereas the National Education Association's Read Across America, a national celebration of reading, will be conducted on March 1st, 2019, the day before what would have been the 115th birthday of Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. And whereas Read Across America, New Jersey is being conducted statewide by the New Jersey Education Association, the New Jersey State League of Municipalities, the New Jersey Library Association, and their local affiliates across the state. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor and Council of the Borough of Runnemede calls on the citizens of Runnemede to assure that every child is in a safe place reading together with a caring adult on March 1st, 2019. And be it further resolved that this body enthusiastically endorses the NEA's Read Across America and Read Across America, New Jersey, and recommits our community to engage in programs and activities to make America's children the best readers in the world. Nick Kapadas, Mayor.
Thank you.
Very good.
I just want to say, I think the clerk has read this proclamation 114 times, is that?
A lot of times.
Amazing. So thank you again.
Dr. Seuss.
All right, so now we have our reports until the senator's here. Clerk, would you like to read the reports?
I would. We have a treasurer's report listed the total revenue of $22,657,184.05 as of December 2018. I have a report of the tax collector, and we have multiple months because we skipped it last month. I have a report for taxes collected in December, $223,424.83. And taxes for January, $1,189,583.21. And sewer for the month of December, $22,005.69. And sewer in the month of January, $67,199.18. I also have my year-end report in taxes and sewer. We collected a total of $19,374,563.06 in taxes, and in sewer rentals, $791,542.47. And the collection rate in taxes was 98.44%. I have an email from construction. In the month of December, a total of $16,492 was collected in permits and COs. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have the report of the borough clerk for the month of January. A total of $2,794 was collected in various permits, including pet licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I probably have another report too in December. I also have, over the month of December, a total of $1,791 collected for street openings and one cat license. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. And for the month of December, in registrar, $3,000 total was collected for death copies and marriage copies. And for January registrar report, $3,514 was collected. I have the report. I have an email from the court. A total of November. Total court revenue in November was $12,201.26. And in in December, it is $10,403.18. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have a report of the fire marshal for the month of December. A total of $3,137 was collected in fire fees. There were 55 inspections completed. There was 139 EMS incidents and 40 fire incidents. There were 2 Type 1 permits issued, and total EMS fees collected in December, $38,235.23. And in the month of January, the total fees collected $4,719. There were 65 inspections completed, 124 EMS incidents, 56 fire incidents, 1 Type 1 permit issued, and EMS fees collected $19,485.23. $440.65. And that is it.
That's it? No reports from the police department?
I don't have one.
No.
We did very well with this.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the reports as read?
Make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Lowenstein, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
Communications, we have a note from Mr. Dioria, thanking, a note for the flowers and kind thoughts offering the passage of Joseph. And then go right to committee reports. Committee reports, finance and administration. Mr. Farrell.
Yes, I'm going to go with our caucus report. That was kind of extensive. When I met with Jim yesterday, he didn't have anything else to add, so we'll just go with that.
Thank you. Public safety, Ms. Scott.
Thank you, Mayor. Is this on?
Push the button, Attorney Ryan.
Okay, got it.
Flip the top, the bottom off.
Okay,
Is it on?
yes, I'm good. I'm going to give two reports, mainly because the reorg, we skipped reports and said that we would give them this month. So in December, the police department had 774 calls, 172 summonses, 33 vehicle crashes, 85 arrests, 13 hours of overtime, and 1 Narcan deployment. In January, they had 891 calls for service, 266 traffic summonses, 27 motor vehicle crashes, 184 arrests, 80 hours of overtime, and 4 Narcan deployments. The fire department had 3 this month, so that's a total of 7 Narcan deployments this month. That's a real high number for us. We usually run about 2 to 3 a month. The next report is really quite amazing because it's the yearly report that I receive from the fire department on the incidents and the amounts of funds received during their service as first responders. Last year, they received a total of $380,947.17. That's really an amazing amount, and it is only indicative of the amount of time that is given. When you look at their EMS fees and their fire department fees, it's amazing. In 2018, there was a total of 2,005 incidents all told. EMS had 1,457 and the fire department responded 548 times. It's wonderful. And I just congratulate our fire department and our police department on the service they give our community. That is my report.
Okay, thank you.
This goes on the yearly report, please, Mark?
Yes, I did give the yearly report. It was December.
Is that a total for the whole year?
Oh, I'll do that. In December, they had 11,371 calls that they responded to. 11,000.
For the year.
Yes, for the year. And 3,608 traffic summonses were issued. 263 motor vehicle crashes were responded to. There was 1,639 arrests, 479 hours of overtime, and during the year they deployed 9 Narcans. So that's an amazing report.
Thank you. Okay, thank you again. So I see our state senator has arrived. So we were anxiously waiting. So at this point, we're going to let you take over our meeting for a few minutes. If you'd like to come up to the microphone and do what you'd like to do, if you need any help from us.
Actually, Greg and
You guys want to go up?
good evening, everyone. I just want to wish everybody a happy, healthy New Year to the people I didn't get to see in Reorg. And it's always a pleasure to come here to Runnemede because you have outstanding people who really are dedicated to help and to fight for the people in Runnemede. Patty, we did the freeholder meeting back in January in Runnemede. And Patty is, along with the mayor and the council members, are always asking for donations to help the businesses. And they decided to ask me for a little donation. And as a token of our appreciation from the 5th District, I want to make sure that we donate this money. And you can explain why.
Well, new beginnings. We understand that you're looking for a place, and we want you to stay in Runnemede. So we hope that you do find somewhere. This is just a small donation from the senator, so to get you started, and hope that motivate the people in Runnemede to donate and help you out. You do a wonderful job for helping people with addiction. And I want to thank you all.
So, who's thinking?
Even though this is a small amount of money, I hope that people will understand the great job they're doing in Runnemede and in the area and help them. They are going to hopefully do a fundraising. And this is just a little something to start you on that fundraising because we want them to stay in our neighborhood. We want them to stay in Runnemede, and they're working very hard to make sure they stay in Runnemede. So thank you for everything. God bless you. We're fighting a huge epidemic, and hopefully, if we all work together, we can fight this epidemic. So God bless you, and
Thank you. Thank you so much.
keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. There's a lot to it. I think you should take pictures.
Senator, did you want to take a quick photo, just to make sure?
Why not?
No, John, you want to take care of that? Just do it. Yeah, thank you. Guys, stay up for a second.
Could she say a few words, please?
Yeah, please say a few words.
So on behalf of New Beginnings, I want to thank Senator Cruz Perez for this award. New Beginnings are dedicated to supporting those in our community coping with addiction, and we welcome the opportunity to assist our community in any capacity possible. I'd also like to thank Runnemede for their continued support of our organization. You guys are fantastic to us. You go above and beyond. And we really want to find a permanent home soon, like the next year. I just wanted to mention that we always talk about how addiction runs in families, but we never talk about the fact that recovery runs in families too. They lead from the front, they lead by example, and it is the underlying principle as to how recovery is contagious. This helps break the stigma associated with addiction.
Paul, come take a photo.
You want me to take a photo? Okay.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, line up, let's take a photo. Senator, you want? You are a guest this evening.
I'm part of the family. Why do you think I'm-
Okay. All right, Mr. Patrick.
Really, Paul?
All right, I'm trying. Mr. Patrick is.
I'm gonna have to go horizontally.
Let me get, I got it, that's what, hold on.
It's better. There you go.
I'll do both. Give me all the time. Been a while since I've been crying. All right, good. That's the only time I took photographs, is crying.
Just in case.
Hey, y'all trust me?
Okay, one.
No, we don't.
Hey, you really don't trust me, right?
Thank you.
You want to show me up a little bit more? You want to sit up there? Man?
We do hoop out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. We support you wholeheartedly.
You didn't bring what?
You want an extra one?
Yeah, just want to give it to you. We got a phone call from Mr. Rollins.
I have 2 5-year-olds and sons that go through it already. Because we're parents. Sure. Yeah, as soon as he signs it. Yeah. Okay.
Help us out.
Okay.
At least make it.
You can't put it up on the sign. I put 2 of them up, one with the cat that had. So
You understand how to?
grab a hat and read the cat.
Mr. Lee, would you like to come up for a second?
Across America.
Now, the state senator just made clarification for me. You are being appointed by the county, which is a different form of government. Everyone knows we're the local form, the freeholders of the county level, and the state senator represents the entire state. So she at least is going to at least officially make the announcement for us.
I just want to congratulate you. He's a great artist. He did, he have his artwork, if you go to the State House in Trenton, he's there. And I'm so proud that he's in my district and he's part of Runnemede. And he is going to be recognized, and he's going to be, it's going to be a proclamation that the county is going to present to him, appointing him to the Cultural Art Society in Camden County. So congratulations. And you have no idea how proud we are. Every time I go to Trenton and I look at what he has done, and I say, he's from our district, he's from South Jersey, he's from Runnemede, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. No, another picture. We don't get these nice things that often. We're usually talking about taxes. People don't want to talk about taxes.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Get in there.
Thank you. Well, so say something.
No, this will be short.
Did you know that Camden received $1 million?
Senator, I wanted to thank you very much for this honor. It was a pleasure to meet you the other day at the council meeting.
The honor was all mine. Trust me, I went to the State House last week, and I was just admiring what you have done in the State House, and it makes me feel so proud that you're from South Jersey, that you're one of us, and you are going places. God bless you.
Thanks. So one of the things that I've been, I just did want to reiterate that I have lived in this town all of my life. Some of you may know that my father was William Leap, and he wrote the town history. And I've been learning a little bit more about my heritage, and I discovered that my grandfather had a grocery store here on the Black Horse Pike, and he did some really amazing things. He started the Boy Scouts in town. He started a businessmen's association. And he was able to get one of the first banks to kind of move into town. So a lot of really interesting things. So trying to, I'm sort of, as you can see, I'm graying out. So at this part of my life, I'm beginning to think about what I can help to do to get back to my community. And my expertise, as you know, is in the arts. So I've actually been working to sort of start a little nonprofit arts foundation in the town. And we've had 4 meetings so far. Each one has had more people come out. And we recently just kind of finalized what our mission statement is. So I just wanted to share that with you tonight. We're calling ourselves Reimagine Runnemede, with the idea of some vision for what could happen in the future of our town. And our mission is, we are a nonpartisan, citizen-based network mobilizing to promote the revitalization of our community by learning and building upon the best practices of other successful community models. We hope to inspire and support our elected officials by partnering with them to creatively seek new solutions through art-based community development. So one of the, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but there's only a limited amount of stuff that you can do in the day, and I've always wished, oh, if only I could find a way to clone myself. Well, it turns out that I did find, John was able to hook me up with this wonderful woman named Rochelle, who teaches at the high school, and she turns out to be like another amazing dynamo. So I told her what we were doing, and she made
Don't get
this
too comfortable.
logo. No. Check this out. So this is
Everybody look on your seat.
yeah, we started the Super Bowl the other night. That's what I'm doing. I'm stripping right now. Now, here you go. So this is a reimagined Runnemede. So I'm hoping that you begin to see this logo showing up in some of the businesses along the pike. And that means that they're supporting the idea that they want to help with the revitalization of our community. So I would encourage you to look us up, come out to some of our meetings. The next thing we're looking at is we're kind of studying how corridors within cities can be renovated to help with urban renewal, to restore things to the entire community. So, okay. Thank you very much.
And Runnemede has one. We're very lucky to have one. Thank you. Okay.
Where'd he go?
I have to give you a hug too.
All right, wait a lot. Okay, thank you, everyone. So we're going to we'll continue with our meeting. Once again, we appreciate all of you coming up with this. You're not obligated to stay for all the resolutions, but if you think it's interesting, if you'd like to stay and listen. So at this point, we're going to continue with our committee reports. And the next committee was public events, I believe.
Geez, did I do it already?
No, you did not.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well. Okay. Hello? Okay, well, John and I, Councilman Ranieri, we're going to be starting our newsletter, and hopefully we'll be getting it out in April and May, and get some pictures that we did tonight. And Ken, you can send us a little something, paragraph and all, and the logo, and we'll put that all in our newsletter. And I'm going to meet with my committee so that we can begin to have the agenda for all our events this year. And start on Youth Mayor and Council, which is one of our biggies that we do for a whole week of 8th grade students. And also, I'm already starting to get some contracts for the mummers for the 4th of July parade. So that's always fun and interesting. And with that, we're going to move on, and I'm going to say progress.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, construction engineering, Mr. Root's not here, but we'll allow the engineer, when it's his turn, to give a little bit more of a report. Public Works, Mr. Ranieri.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. Good evening, everybody. Hello, testing work. As everybody might know, if not, I am now the Public Works Director. I switched from financing. Just some basic things. This week is our last week for leaf pickup. From here on out, if you have leaves to get rid of, just put them out on Monday, and they'll be picked up. A couple of my initial goals for this department, my new department, is to understand and help improve overall the complete operation of this department, which includes personnel, equipment, inventory, maintenance, operating procedures, shared service, sewer department, home stations, public works, buildings and grounds. Harry and I have had our first meeting, and it was very productive. We set a date for our first committee meeting, which will be next month. And our committee members are Pat Passio, and also Craig Lovenstein. And as we move forward and deal with many of the unseen challenges like our infrastructure, our trash and recycling challenges, I am committed, with the help of Harry, our administration, the mayor, and council, to keep ahead of the curve by investing in the right equipment and projects that move us forward and in the right direction. And the rest is progress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Parks and Recreation, Mr. Lovenstein.
Well, basketball's in full swing at Harry Williams. We have the new scoreboards up. Now there's 2, so you don't have to turn your neck around to look for a score. Thank you to Public Works and to Mr. Diorio for getting that done. We appreciate that very much. Some 300 kids are playing basketball in Runnemede, so the building's used quite a bit. Also, St. Teresa's uses it, and so does Vault School from time to time. Spring sports are starting to do their signups. I happened to order for the line for softball and baseball. I will relay that to Mr. Diori and Mr. Woza. And I did get an email today asking if we're starting on the field soon, and I said no. We have a lot of winter to go. Every time we get a nice day in February, they always want to jump the gun, but it'll be a little while before we get the playing fields in order. The rest is progress.
Okay, thank you. Administrators report. Mr. Diori.
Hi, Mayor. Hi, Council. Pretty much,
Let the people hear your voice.
we're pretty much knee-deep in the budget. This is a very busy time of year for the finance part of my job. We just filed the annual debt statement. It was filed on time, and we came in at 1.6% for debt percentage. So I was very glad to see that. It gives us the ability to borrow in the future to fund some of the improvements, capital improvements we want to do in the borough, which we take great pride in. I'm currently working on getting ready for our auditors. I talked to them this week, and they'll be in on Friday, the 25th, to start the annual financial statement. Usually that leads into the chief having his phone. Thank you. Come down. No. So that usually leads to our annual audit, and where the auditors do a more in-depth look at our finances. So I'm looking forward to that. It's an exciting part for me. It kind of gives me an opportunity to be judged on the work that we did throughout the year, and I look forward to that. As far as the budget goes, I have done a preliminary draft of the salaries budget. I started accumulating data for the appropriations and the revenue budget. I'm going to have those merged together, and hopefully we'll be in a position to take a look at the whole budget mid-February. So that's, everything's going to come together all at once, which is the way it should. As far as administration and building, one of the bigger capital projects that's going on right now are installing our security cameras. I was told today that the cameras now are installed throughout the borough on the inside and outside. Now we just have to get the monitor in the police department up and hooked up, hook the electric up. But I think that'll be done by the end of the week. So we have our normal road projects and things like that Mark will talk about in a little bit. But if there's no other questions, I guess I'll say progress.
The only thing I want the audience to know, when Mr. Diori said that we have a 1.6% debt ratio. The way it works is you take the value of every single property in the entire community, or commercial properties, all the residential properties. So the borough is worth about $500 million approximately. 500?
Excuse me, it's $514 million.
514.
And you take the aggregate of the last 3 years and you divide them to get the average assessed value divided by.
So our debt is only 1.6% of all the value of the town, and the state actually allows us to go as high as 3.5%. So the borough's always, not just our group, but we've always been very conservative in our borrowing, kept that number low. So the 1.6 is very affordable for us, and we are able every year to at least invest in our community as much as we can. We don't want to do too much, or we would end up raising taxes. So we're very conscious of that.
Thanks, sir.
Yes.
You get a better rate as well.
Absolutely, we're not stretched out. So thank you. You're welcome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Solicitors report. Progress. Very nice. Engineers report. You can be a little more elaborate.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to rely mostly on my report from caucus, but there has been a few additions since then. The first thing is Camden County Open Space has announced that their applications are due April 1st. So I'll be working with the engineering committee to come up with the possible candidate for that application, and we'll assist with the application if you would like us to. The other is Camden County Community Development Block Grant has announced that applications are due March 1st. We have previously talked about piggybacking this application with the DOT project we submitted. for Schisler Circle Phase 2, Woodland Avenue, and North and South Rowan Avenue. It's about half a mile worth of roads, and we're looking to put in an application for that. One thing we talked about in office was possibly having the engineering underway, so we submitted a proposal to do that work, so hopefully we can take action on that tonight, contingent on Jim being able to certify availability of funds. But the objection, or the object of that is to bolster our application. It was very successful last year when we already had a design in the can when we submitted for the CDBG project, and the same way when we did supplemental application 2 years ago for the elevator project. We already had a design in hand, and that seemed to get some bonus points with CDBG. So we'll hopefully get action on that, and we'll move forward with the design if it's awarded.
Question, the open space, is that separate from the recreation grant, or are they the same
It's
thing?
the same thing.
They use two different names?
Yeah.
So, just because it did come up a little bit, the DFW playground, which we brought up again, I think we might be able at this point to put that in our application with the understanding that we are going to take possession of it. We'll have to look at our legal counsel for that, but at this point, the Sports Depot and the VFW are, going to transfer that property to the borough.
We would need that in place by April 1st, I would recommend.
You want first?
Well, we tried that 2 years ago, and because the borough didn't own the property, it did not get
I don't know if
done.
I can get it done that fast.
So,
Okay, we might have to reevaluate,
Yes, you can.
but,
I mean,
yeah.
you're taking a risk. I don't know, I just want to point out what happened 2 years ago when we tried that, and the borough did not own the land.
We didn't own it back then. So we'll have to come up with another one if we can't use the playground.
Open space grant.
Well, it's open space / recreation, so the idea, they go together.
And it's usually the $25,000 grant.
So this year we got, 2018, we got the fencing for the girls softball.
So let's think.
So we don't have to make that decision now, but we only have 2 months. Okay,
And that's-
well,
other than that,
other than that progress, okay, thank you. Old business, we have none. New business, we have a bunch of resolutions. So let's get started. We have Resolution 19-21, which is a resolution confirming 2019 appointments. Even though I think we should do all 4 of these this evening, I still believe that the Personnel Committee with the Director of Public Works and the Director of Public Safety should meet these 4 gentlemen that are going to be appointed. I have absolute faith in our Fire Department, our Public Works Department, but I still think we need to keep that process going, even though these are part-time temporary employees. So in Public Works, we have Zachary Holmes, a laborer for 6 months, and Christopher Thomas, a janitor for 6 months. We did meet Christopher Thomas.
These are part-time.
It's part-time.
Part-time, not 6 months.
Oh, part-time, I apologize. We did meet him.
And Zach Holmes is a rehire, he was a seasonal.
So we had already used him before?
We used him for 6 months, his hire was expired, he took a furlough, and then he came back.
Okay. So each one at $14.27 per hour. And in the Fire Department, Timothy Wayans and John E. Merklin, part-time EMTs at $12.25 an hour. So is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Ms. Passio. Ms. Kelly. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 absent.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 1922 is a resolution authorizing,
There, I just want to let you know that I'll do with Fred tomorrow, and I'll see if we can do a meet and greet with the.
I did speak to him about it. I guess we just didn't have enough time to get it done.
Yeah, just, I saw him today.
He thought it was the right thing to do to at least have the director meet and myself.
We'll get that together.
Okay.
I'm available, just let me know.
You got it.
Okay then. 1922 is a resolution authorizing salary increases for employees of the Borough of Runnemede. These are the statutory employees, no,
Yeah.
Yes.
And the fire.
and the fire department, okay. So statutory employees of the Borough Clerk, Tax Collector, Chief Financial Officer, and Tax Assessor pursuant to New Jersey 40A, and 2% salary increase for the members of the firefighters unit, which was already in the contract, right? So you're just reiterating that? Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Ms. Kelly. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 absent.
Right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 1923 is a resolution increasing the bid threshold and appointing a qualified purchasing agent. This is Mr. Law from Woodbury. for $6,000 a year, and this increases,
5,000.
oh, 5,000.
6,000 is the threshold.
I'm reading everything back, sorry. 5,000 for his salary, and 40,000 for the bid threshold. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Patsy. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Five ayes, one absent.
And the resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-24 is a resolution approving the shared services agreement with the Borough of Magnolia for the provision of mechanical repairs and maintenance of municipal vehicles and equipment. Is there a motion for this?
I'll make that motion. And I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Patsy. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Five ayes, one absent.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 19-25 is a resolution authorizing a shared service agreement with the Beaverbrook Regional Fire Alliance. This is with, it's Belmar, Haddon Heights, Barrington, and Runnemede. We share fire engines, in case anyone didn't know that. And we also, part of this agreement, if anyone did get a chance to look at it, it also identifies that the fire truck that we're replacing this year will be part of this alliance as a backup piece of equipment for all 4 towns to use if one of the vehicles is down. All 4 towns will share the cost of maintaining this vehicle. The Borough of Runnemede, we're basically donating this vehicle to the alliance.
It's a great idea.
Great idea, right? Okay, is there a resolution or a motion?
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Ranieri. Roll call, please.
Kelly and Ranieri? Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And five ayes, one absent.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 1926 is a resolution authorizing a shared service agreement between the Borough of Runnemede and the County of Camden for historic preservation funding for the World War I plaque. This was in the amount of $2,500 to help improve the area around the World War I monument, which is the cannon that's out in front of the Harry Williams building across the street from the Wawa. Is there a motion?
I'll second that motion.
Very good. Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Mrs. Patsy. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Five ayes, one absent.
Right, the resolution is passed. I can't say adopted because until I sign the resolution, it's actually not a resolution. So for clarity for those in the audience who will need to understand that, until I sign the resolution, it is not a resolution. That's for you, Dan, in case you were wondering. I gotta sign it. Resolution 1927 is a resolution authorizing cancellation of taxes after being declared a 100% totally disabled veteran, Block 147.07, Lot 1. Is there a
I make a
motion?
motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Paxton, second by Mr. Ranieri. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 1928 is a resolution canceling credits. This is overpayments on the taxes.
Well, it's mostly to do with the totally disabled vets when things end up in the wrong place. So
Okay.
it's just housekeeping.
No problem.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Patsy. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Rude? I'm sorry, Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Five ayes, one absent.
Right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 1929 is a resolution awarding a contract bid A61-15 to Camden County Energy Recovery Associates, LP, for 1 month for solid waste disposal fees. This is the one that raises our trash fees from $66.66 per ton to $68.68 per ton. This is only for 1 month. Is there a
I'll
motion?
make a motion. I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Pasco, second by Ms. Kelly. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passios?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Five ayes, one absent.
The resolution is adopted. Resolution 1930 is a resolution placing a property maintenance lien on block 155.02, lot 9. This is for $6,070.20.
This is the sewage that was
Is this
leaking
the
out.
broken sewer line?
And the person whose line it is said they would not fix it, or could not fix it. I have all the documentation here,
Okay.
and,
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ranieri,
I'll second that motion.
second by Ms. Kelly. Any other discussion? Just to be clear, this was a health hazard where the sewage was leaking. The property owner couldn't do the work, so the borough did the work. Now there's a lien on the property for them to pay, reimburse the borough for the cost to fix the sewer line.
And it was on the section of pipe that normally belongs to the homeowner.
It was the homeowner's side, not the borough's. Normally, we don't go on people's personal property to do this stuff. Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Pasio.
Yes.
I know you don't like that.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Five ayes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 1931 is a resolution in support of Path to Progress, recommendations made by the New Jersey Economic and Fiscal Policy Workshop. We did get a chance to go over this at the caucus, so at this point, is there someone who'd like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Lowenstein, second by Ms. Pasio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll send the resolution up to the state. Senator Perez, we are supporting Senate President Sweeney's ideas for these fiscal changes that he's recommending. We have our concerns about the whole package, but we hope something will get done.
So am I.
I understand. Okay, so resolution 1932 is the emergency temporary budget. Mr. Yori, you want to at least, this is just moving some things around?
Elaborate? Yeah, at the reorganization in the beginning of the year, we proposed a temporary budget so that the municipality can operate. That budget is 26.25%, which constitutes 1/4 of our annual budget based on last year's budget. However, throughout the first 3 months, we prepaid things like contracts, different things like that, which sucks up that money. So at this point of the year, I'd like to do an emergency temporary budget to bring up the budget to 50%. So this way it gives us some breathing room.
Okay. And obviously, this is until the state passes its budget, so that we can pass our budget. So for those of you who don't know, the municipalities pass their budgets before the state does, so it's kind of backwards, because we have to wait for the state to approve our budgets. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Pasio.
I'll second that motion.
Second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Pasio.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes. Oh, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
All right, the resolution is adopted. We're going to put another resolution on. It's not on the agenda. It's Resolution 19-33. This is a resolution authorizing the design phase of the upcoming road project in the amount of $62,350, pending certification of funds by the CFO. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Pasio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Pasio.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Next thing we have is a request authorization to issue used car lot licenses for Runnemede Toyota, Belmar Collision, and Smith Family Auto. All paperwork is in order. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Ms. Pasio, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Farrell?
So that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Did anyone notice that the one we approved at the last meeting,
They're already gone.
it's already empty?
They put their
I
paperwork in.
have no idea.
They have their paperwork. Okay, so now we have an ordinance. We have first reading of ordinance 19-02. It's an ordinance to exceed municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank pursuant to New Jersey statute. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt on the first reading and advertise according to law with a public hearing to be held on the 5th day of March 2019.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
By Mr. Ranieri. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Pasio.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Porter.
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 absent.
Okay, next order of business is payment of bills. Would someone like to make a motion to pay the monthly bills?
Make a motion, pay the bills.
I'll second that
Motion
motion.
by Mr. Lobenstein, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly? Yes. Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Leary?
Yes.
The bill shall be paid. This is the good and welfare portion of the meeting. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Hi, everybody. Lorraine Costello, 35 East 4th Avenue. I got a letter in the mail about the redevelopment, which included my block on the property that I own. I'm not going to be able to make the meeting on the 13th. I was wondering if you can just give me an overview of what's going on. I'm under the impression that this is on for the Black Horse Pike, and you're not going to be looking at houses, or how is this working?
Okay, let me explain it. Obviously, we're having a public meeting on the 13th, but the redevelopment zone had to be drawn basically we drew straight lines. So if you went down to the CVS, and you know how the CVS goes from the Black Horse Pike all the way to Central.
Right.
And then if you look at, say, Runnemede Heating goes from Black Horse Pike to the bike path. So what we did you can't do what's called spot zoning. You can't carve out little pieces of property and things like that. So the easiest way to do it was basically to draw just a square from the Turnpike to Clemens Bridge Road. So that square is what we call our area of investigation for need. So we did a need assessment. Now, it doesn't mean that every single property falls into the criteria of need to be redone. Let's use a good example, the Wawa. You know, Wawa, even though it's in the same zone as your property, it is not considered blighted in any way. But the idea, though, is that, as you know, the Black Horse Pike is in need of redevelopment.
Right.
So the idea of looking at this whole area, the meeting on the 14th, is just to identify that area meets the needs that the state requires us to. Now, once again, why did we go so deep? Well, the thought process was, if someone did want to do something on the Black Horse Pike, look at what the borough did here. We purchased some of the properties adjacent to us so that we could put some more street frontage on the Black Horse Pike and some parking. So the thought was that would allow anybody to potentially talk to those neighbors in that area, or go, talk to any property and formulate a plan. Once they formulate a plan, they then come to the borough, come to the council, and then basically tell us their idea. If the borough feels that this plan is good, we would then award them, or what do we say? We make them the developer. They then go in front of the planning board and go through the whole process of whatever they're going to do. Now, just to make it clear, so that anybody in the audience needs to understand this, your home is still your home. It's still residential property. You could sell it tomorrow, you could sell it in 10 years as a house. What zoning does is we have residential zones, we have 3 of them, and we have different commercial zones. What we've done is those zones stay the same, they don't change. What we've done is we've put a map over top of that. So that gives you 2 options. You can still sell it as your normal home, or because you have this map over top of your map, if someone came to you and made an offer to purchase your property, or you wanted to expand your property, you could do that because now you're in 2 different zones simultaneously. So the state basically, they incentivize us to do redevelopment zones to try to fix properties that meet a certain criteria, which is what we spent money on to do a study. And that's kind of where we did it. And like I said, it's only a study at this point, so let me make that really clear. I don't think people understand the process very well. This is government. We move glacially. So we started a year and a half ago. So a year and a half ago, we decided that we wanted to do something with the Black Horse Pike. Why? All the residents of our community tell us that the Black Horse Pike between Clemens Road and the Turnpike looks poorly. I live here too, so we see all this. The next step was to get the money together. We needed close to $80,000 to do the master plan reevaluation and do this study. After doing the study, we then now have to do these public hearings. We had to send letters out to 300 residents. So this is this ongoing process. So even after the 13th, all we've done is agree that the study is okay. So once the study gets the okay, then we start the next step, would be to formulate a redevelopment committee. We would start to come up with what we've been terming almost like a plan where we think, well, what would work along the Black Horse Pike? Because we don't want people coming into us, asking us to do things that we're not going to allow. We don't want somebody to come in and build an industrial building that they're going to build tires on the Black Horse Pike. So we'll set some basic parameters that we think will work on the different blocks and things like that. And then each application will be looked at on its own. Every time someone comes in to possibly do something that is above the normal zoning, which is part of the redevelopment zoning, there would be public hearings, there would be a planning board meeting, they would go through the same process. The only difference is it allows the town, members of council and myself, to help promote redevelopment on the Black Horse Pike and in those areas, and to sometimes grant waivers or even tax breaks to allow people to do something, developers to do something on the pike. But the reason we added your house, once again, was just makes it to make a nice clean square.
Right, okay, thank you. I'm glad to know that it's studied, because that eases my mind a little bit. I'm 7 houses from the Black Horse Pike.
You're pretty far from the Black Horse.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
very good,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't bring that up, but Lorraine, just in case you didn't know, and your neighbors, if you read the letter, it was very clear that the borough's policy is we're not taking anybody's house.
Right, no, I read the.
Okay, few people didn't understand that. Our only concern is that any developer comes to us has to speak to the property owners prior to even talking to us. We don't want to talk to them if they haven't already talked to the property owners. So the borough, at this point, we have no intention of doing anything to take anybody's houses. All we're trying to do is get people interested in moving their businesses to Runnemede. Like New Beginnings, if they saw a few properties that they liked and they wanted to do something, this redevelopment plan will help them to cobble together a few pieces of property, maybe to create something that works for them, or any other type of business. Once again, we haven't got past the study yet.
Right,
So,
thank you.
okay? Anyone else like to come to the microphone? Seeing no one else, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
A motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.